executive order limiting the visitors and the refugees can come into this country, and will that be released this week?
Right now, we are considering and pursuing all options. Those options include seeking an emergency stay at the Supreme Court, continuing the appeal with the panel, having an emergency hearing en banc, or going to the trial court in the district level and a trial on the merits. They also include, as you've mentioned, the possibility of new executive actions designed to prevent terrorist infiltration of our country. But I want to say something very clearly, and this is going to be very disappointing to the people protesting the president and the people in Congress, like Senator Schumer, who've attacked the president for his lawful and necessary action. The president's powers here are beyond question. The president has the authority under the INA Section 8 U. 1182F to suspend the entry of aliens into this country, and he has Article 2 foreign powers to also engage in conducting border control and immigration control into this country. Those powers are substantial. They represent the very apex of presidential authority, and so we are contemplating new and additional actions to ensure that our immigration system does not become a vehicle for admitting people into our country who are hostile to this nation and its values.
I want to follow up on that, Stephen. That's an argument you've been making this week, that the courts have no place interfering with the president's constitutional powers over immigration. But I want to take you back to what the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals said in its ruling upholding the stay of the president's executive travel ban. Here, first of all, is what you had to say this week.
An unelected judge does not have the right to remake the immigration laws and policies for the entire United States of America.
But the Ninth Circuit Court disagreed. Although courts owe considerable deference to the president's policy determinations with respect to immigration and national security, it is beyond question that the federal judiciary retains the authority to adjudicate constitutional challenges to executive action. Stephen, the three judges say you're flat wrong.
No, the three judges made a broad, overreaching statement about the ability to check the executive power and did not even address what I was talking about, which was INA 212F, 8 U.S.C. 1182F, the power of the president to exclude aliens in the national interest.
But they say that the courts have a long history of reviewability here.
No, the Ninth Circuit has a long history of being overturned, and the Ninth Circuit has a long history of overreaching. We don't have judicial supremacy in this country. We have three co-equal branches of government. The Ninth Circuit cannot confer onto a Yemeni national living in Yemen with no status in our country a constitutional right to enter our country. Were such a right to exist, Chris, that would mean every time we deny a visa to a foreign national, they could sue in an American court for damages for lost benefits in terms of welfare and employment. That would be ludicrous. 80 million people visit this country every year through airports, land ports, and seaports. Of course the president has the authority to impose moderate, necessary, and sensible restrictions, including putting in place new vetting procedures to protect this country. That power was delegated to him explicitly by Congress and adheres to him under his Article 2 powers under the U.S. Constitution. This is a judicial usurpation of power. It is a violation of judges' proper role in litigating disputes. We will fight it, and we will make sure that we take actions to keep from happening in the future what's happened in the past. We've had hundreds of individuals enter this country through our immigration system on visas who've gone on to do enormous harm to this country from 9/11 through San Bernardino, through the Boston bombing, in Chattanooga, and on and on and on it goes.
All right. I want to pick up on that and your criticism of the judges, because after Judge Robart's initial order, President Trump tweeted this. I'm going to put it on the screen. Just cannot believe a judge would put our country in such peril. If something happens, blame him and court system. People pouring in. Bad. But now, Stephen, that judge is getting death threats. So the question is, if something happens to him, should we blame President Trump?
This is one of the most ludicrous things that the media does, where when any crazy person in this country issues a death threat, that they then blame a politician or a public official. That is reckless and irresponsible and should never be done. The reality is
but some people would say that personally attacking a judge is reckless and irresponsible. In fact, your own Supreme Court nominee Judge Gorsuch called it disheartening and demoralizing.
Statements that you can't criticize a judge demonstrate a profound misunderstanding of what it means to have separate and equal branches. Of course, one branch can criticize another branch of government. It's ludicrous to say that Congress can criticize the president, and the president can criticize Congress, and judges can criticize the president, but the president can't criticize judges.
So Neil Gorsuch was wrong?
I have my opinions, and Judge Gorsuch has had his comments, as you know, misinterpreted and misrepresented by Senator Blumenthal, who, as we all know, has profound credibility issues.
Well, wait. On the question, first of all, on the question of his saying that he found these remarks disheartening and demoralizing, it wasn't.
That's different than saying.
Wait a minute.
That's different than saying you can't criticize a judge.
Stephen,
I don't think that Judge Gorsuch would say you can't criticize a judge in the United States.
But he said that these comments were disheartening, demoralizing. He said it not only to Richard Blumenthal, he said it to Senator Ben Sasse as a Republican.
That is not what Kelly Ayotte put out a statement. That's not what she said he said. You weren't in the room. I wasn't in the room. What we do know is that Senator Blumenthal, we all know his Vietnam scandal. We know how much he has a credibility problem. It's a serious problem. That's what should be the focus of this conversation, is the degree to which that senator has a serious credibility issue. But not to get off track here, because we're going all over the place. Let's just be very clear and straightforward in saying the following. The United States of America has a terrorism problem. We have had hundreds of cases of foreign nationals entering our country from other countries and plotting, attempting, or even carrying out terrorist attacks. We spend countless dollars a year, and we have thousands of federal officers and investigators who do nothing but run around the country trying to stop terrorist attacks for no other reason. We make the mistake of letting people in who harbor hatred for this country. Our immigration system should not be a vehicle for admitting people who have anything but love in their heart